What is up, y'all? You know what it is. We're going to design some shit. We're going to animate it. It's going to be great. Doing something a little bit different today. Instead of making something that's like 10 seconds-ish that loops or less, I'm just going to be making a 30-second short with some like focus on making something a little bit more elegant and smooth than necessarily just like super fast and snappy and whatever. Also, just so you know, most recent vlog of our trip to the Dominican, meeting our team for the first time, did just drop. So, hey, if you want to go and watch that and then come back to this, that's an option for you. But also, it'll be there later, and so will this. So choose carefully, I guess. I don't know. Today, y'all are in for a treat. I found this wonderful artist. Here we go. Just a second. Named Hiroshi Nagai. And it's just incredibly vibey. I don't know how I got to this screen. So sorry. There you go. It's just like Japanese city pop, but it's like Americana vibes, and I don't know. It's very, very pretty. I find it super interesting looking. Very limited color palette. It's not like a super huge amount of detail. Like this plant here is just a bunch of colored circles on top of each other, which I think is kind of fun. There's a little car. That's cool too. It's gonna be great. Yeah, like I said, 30-second animation this time. I'm gonna try and animate it all on stream, but we'll see how far I get today. I'll be going for a couple hours, and we'll just see what we can do. So that being said, I will show y'all what we currently have in terms of music. Let me go ahead and turn it down just a little bit for everybody. And here we go. I fully expect to get copyright claimed on this, but it's just such a good track, I had to use it. There's this like little pixel displacement thing that I've got going on. And that will all make sense once we get into the motion script here. Now, I actually did go ahead and already write out, let me move back over to this. I already went ahead and wrote out the whole description for this thing, okay? So I already know what each scene is going to be. It's just about actually executing these things in Illustrator in terms of getting the design down and then going through and animating each of them. But it's 7 scenes. 7 scenes in 30 seconds, much more different than what I would normally do. I had to fight the urge to make a scene on every single beat so much throughout that process. I started working on this yesterday, but didn't feel like streaming it until today. So first thing that I'm going to be doing is going through here and just typing out the motion description for each of these things. Our color palette looks nuts. I just nabbed it from one of his most popular pieces, and I was like, if I'm going to capture the vibes of this thing, I got to do it. So here we are. That being said, let's make some fun little descriptions, shall we? I'll go ahead and just move this up here. Like this. Actually too close to the background color. There we go. Yeah. All right. We're gonna have some type there to write these out. We'll have them be like, I don't know, this large-ish so I can read them. None of this will actually go into the animation. It really doesn't matter. It's all just about making sure that I've got all the information I need to be able to properly design this. So here we go. Let me just make sure I can hold this open real quick. Just a second. Sure, that works. Okay. We've got sunrise on with sunrise. Old desktop computer on top of a cliff, seen from the side. The screen, vents, and other details sort of come up one by one and mold this square into the recognizable machine. All right, grab those, move them on over. Okay, and then this is front on view of screen, or of the monitor, I guess. Monitor, glass shines, and then we slowly zoom in as we power up. I'll need to have some like little details on the side that can help us indicate that, I guess. All right. We've got this thing over here. This, I literally just have it labeled as we're now inside of the computer world. That's why I'll have those scan lines in there. I've also got some lensing that'll happen, so it makes it look like it's inside one of those old CRT monitors. So there's that. And then this is the first scene that I designed to really just have a style frame for this whole thing. So I'm just gonna say, animate how you want. I have some ideas of like what I want to get transition wise to get from this scene to this next scene. But as far as the actual animation, I'm gonna just move some things around. I'll have these pedals sort of like play out radially. It'll be great. And then this little like tree in the center is gonna kind of like have its leaves go woo, like this or something. I don't know. With a little sparkle on this platform. Speaking of the platform, how do we get to this next scene? The bottom pillar / platform of the previous scene turns into a giant spinning top with perspective. That's there are like two of these shots and transitions that I genuinely do not know how I'm going to accomplish them. I can do some like path animation and some other stuff, but it's just going to take a lot of tinkering to get it to look proper. And then we've got buildings in the back and foreground. Okay. Great. Computer's really mad at me for some reason. Illustrator's being super slow. All right. Then the top is going to actually fall down. Top falls on its side, on its side, and morphs into a car wheel that is rolling on the ground. Street lines going by, a blue sky in background. Fabulous. The good thing is, I don't think any of these will be necessarily difficult to execute in terms of just the design of it. They're relatively simple, and I'm going to try and focus more on like the minute detail of the animation, as opposed to like freaking out over if I've got like the most intense scene or those sorts of things. That being said, next scene is we use the rotation of the wheel. Use the rotation of the wheel to show what does this say? A palm tree sprouting up from the bottom of the screen. Within its leaves is a cityscape of buildings. We slowly zoom out. And then, I don't know if this scene will actually make it in the final cut or not, or if I'll just end up doing something a bit more simple, because there isn't a whole lot of time for this last scene. I'm going to have zoom out fast, pull back out of computer world to see that the monitor has exploded. PC parts and machinery falling from the sky. Fires and like I don't really want to deal with like making smoke or something, but I guess we'll figure it out. Smoke in background. Actually, I have a good idea of how I can do it. Okay, then slide over to start animation again. Fabulous. All right. All of our stuff is in there. I've got like those sketches I can reference if I need to. Wow, what is going on with my computer right now? Like totally bugging out on me. I don't know why. Let me switch back to this view, and then I'm gonna try and troubleshoot really quick to figure out what is causing this. Just a second. My computer is so mad at me. What the hell? My task manager won't even load. Yikes. What is going on? I wish I had like a be right back thing. That would be great. What's up, Furianaki? What up, Christian? Glad to see y'all. Trying to get my computer situated before we start animating and designing this stuff. Because unfortunately, it's really upset with me right now. What is using 100% of my CPU? That using 1 second. Let's try this one. Okay. If I turn that off, does that fix it? Maybe, kinda. No, it didn't. What is going on? Sorry, y'all. Let me restart some stuff. I'll be right back. Completely tanked it. I don't know what happened there. But I should be good now. I think. Maybe. Kinda. There we go. Okay, we are good now. So sorry, everybody. All fixed. Don't worry. All right. We're back to this nonsense here. Figure this out. Man, I was so excited to stream too. Now everybody's gonna have to come on back. All right. Is this here? No. On this like main. Don't tell me this is starting again. Now we're good. Okay. Fantastic. So we've got sunrise with an old desktop computer on top of a cliff seen from the side. So this, let me grab this background and just drop it over here. There we go. All right. Christian says Noah's 4K is lagging. You know what? This ray trace version of Noah might be doing it, but we're good now. All right. I appreciate that. All right. Old desktop computer on top of a cliff seen from the side. That's what we use for our background for now. We need sunrise. Sunrise vibe. Back this way. And for our cliff, like this size. Maybe it's dark at first. That back in here. Yeah. All right. Maybe it's dark at first. And as like it rises up, maybe this becomes like the light color. What color would the background have? I guess it would just need to end up being this flat ink, right? Yeah, we'll work with that for now, and I can animate the. Okay, what color should the actual computer be then? What would work well on this here background? You know what? I wonder if we do this as the blue. The tones kind of mix together there in a weird way, but I don't know how we could fix that. Speaking of fixing things, my mic is way quieter than normal. That's fun. Let me increase that really quick. Hold on. Sound settings, me, and oh wow, yeah, it's like way quieter than normal. That's so weird. What in the world? How about now? Haha. Oh geez, that's way too loud now. Sorry everybody, didn't mean to blast your ears off. There we go. All right. I swear, we do a daily show every day. All right, we're doing white for this shelf here. And then we'll grab this guy, just a little square at first. It's this color, maybe the latest one, darkest one. This one for now, I guess. All right, and then if it's gonna like, okay, so imagine this, bear with me really quick. It's, my hands are the cliff. No, that can't work. Here's the, okay, my hand is the cliff. Here's the computer. It's my other hand on top of it, right? Okay, so it's gonna originally just look like a, just a square or something. I don't know, I can't make a square with my hand, but then you realize like, as these other things pop in, it'll like get kind of diagonal and raise up and like kind of build out this small monitor until then we like rotate over to the side and get this much like closer up view of the fun little thing there, fun little screen. So what that means is I just need to figure out what I want it to start as and like what the start state is, and then figuring out eventually what the like final transitional state will be for the actual monitor. So in the spirit of that, let me start to build that out. I guess it can, I mean, it can just start like that. Let me listen to the audio really quick. I need like 3 things to add to it, basically. So how about starts like this, okay? It's just a square. But then we've got it like pops up. Maybe there's this thing underneath it, the like little base plate for the computer that's got like, I don't know, divided by, let's do like, is 20 too small? That feels like too small. Let's do 1/10 of the original height. All right, that stays down there. We'll take this same thing, move it up, and then do that same amount, but like here. Okay, and then we can have just that distance in between. Okay, there's a little base plate for it, if we'll even be able to tell that that's what it is. And I guess this needs to be something like 0.75, so it's just a little bit skinnier. I guess we also probably need like a tower, like the actual tower of the PC. So let's grab another one of these, make it this size, and then do half of the width. And then I need to just like kind of add small details and stuff to it. So the screen will just be the white color, I think. In this view anyway, but then whenever we actually see it straight on, we could have it be the dark color in the color palette. What up, Kai? Glad to see you. Yeti says references level 100%. One link, no virus, free download. Olgerd says POV, you're on a client call with Ravit. I have been doing that more with our clients, just like acting things out instead. It's kind of fun. Let me pull up the music for this so I can just have that playing in the background. The stream getting screwed up there for a second really has me frazzled at the moment. I'm just kind of out of flow. So let me fix that for myself. Group loops, A5. Let me brighten this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. And there we are, I believe. Damn, why is my computer so mad today? I do not understand. Things like just aren't loading now. Like I'm trying to open up a piece of audio and it's just not letting me do that. Open with media player, please. There we go. All right, wonderful. We'll just have that play on repeat. I don't care about the ad revenue on this. It's gonna get copyright, but whatever. Super, just chill in the background. Appreciate you, Kai. My hair is a little bit shorter than it was. Not by much though. All right, let's get in the vibes of this, shall we? I'm trying to understand the visual system I'm gonna develop here. Right now, this feels a little awkward because it's just too large in the space. That's feeling a little bit better. Let me get like what the side view of this looks like. We've got here, and maybe it's that color. And then this should probably be like a 4:3 aspect ratio or something. So let me figure out how to do that. If I want it to end up being, I don't know, like 0.75 there, then the width would need to be, what does that come out to? 116 pixels for the height. So, wait, okay, so it should be, okay, then this needs to be 0.75 of that. 155, or 116.6087 times 0.75. 87.45. And there it is. Voila. And then we just need to get it centered in here. Okay. Kind of fun. We're getting somewhere. It should probably be that this is this color, and then we've got this like this. I would think. But truthfully, I just don't know yet. Yeti says, Austin, do you track your time on your projects? I mean, you can say, oh yeah, that animation will be 7 hours of work based on my analytics or metrics. I used to be able to do that, but now I have like a gut reaction to things. Like if I say, when we say we're gonna make a 30-second animation for a client, we roughly know how many hours that would be, but it's usually just like how many weeks of time we'll take at this point. But for things like this, I mean, I expect that with our technical difficulties and whatever we've had so far, it will probably take me like 7 hours to get this whole thing done. I don't know for sure, and I don't plan on streaming for 7 hours because I'm not that crazy anymore, but we can consider this a part one of that and figure it out from there. But I'd imagine it would be around that amount of time. So this needs to be like half this distance. I'm just trying to figure out the perspective and stuff right now. We'll do the width at, divide that by 2. So this should be like over here. Does that work, or is that, now that's too close. Shoot. Oh, is it because it's not the same, just like framer on the whole thing? That was part of it. It needs to look visually centered more than mathematically. All right. And that means that we need to do the same thing with this. So this would be the light side. And I just need to make sure it's the same width. Okay. We're getting somewhere with this, I think. Maybe I can make this even a little bit more stylized. Something like that instead. It's almost like it's a phone on the screen instead. Kind of fun. How does it look from like a zoomed out view? And then maybe this is like 0.75 of the height on this too. So that the monitor is the thing that really stands out. Okay, so we've got our like 3 beats that we need to hit in this section for some sort of action to happen. So we'll have like, first is a square, pops up on the monitor stand and kind of like unfolds itself a little bit. Then you get like the screen blinks on. Maybe that's what it is. So what does it look like if I just have this dark? Looks a little funny. Looks just a little weird. But that gives it a reason for it to blink on, I guess. It draws a lot of attention over there. Olgerd says, I feel like I'd spend a lot more time on design for animation. I know it's important, but in the same amount of time, you'd make more animations, get more experience, etc. Yeah, I agree. Most of the time that I'm going to be spending on this will probably be in the design phase. The actual animation shouldn't take me nearly as long because it's less scenes and they should be a little less complicated and just like more cleverly executed than necessarily having like the snappiest thing ever. What up, Hugh? Glad to see you. Welcome, welcome. I should add a gradient to this. That's why it feels a little funny right now. So we'll do... before it turns on, it will just be the dark part there and then the darkest blue. And like that sort of vibe. That feels a little better. Maybe we've got like a shine somewhere in here or something. Not like that though. Although that is looking kind of cool to do it that way. Like here, if I grab this thing and then just like drag that up there. That gets really like retro wavy with it, but it can be like, when it originally reveals, it can look kind of like this, and then when it turns on, it can have the like flash to white, and then we've got a little like glow on there or something. Could be nice. Could be nice. Maybe when it actually turns on, it looks more like this sort of vibe. Hold on. Bear with me here. Just like a little bit of pink, and then the rest of it being fully bright. Could be kind of fun. Could be kind of fun. What if I reverse? Make that at the top instead. I'm not opposed. I am not opposed. Okay. Time to figure out how to fit some of the white and green in there, you know? Not that it necessarily has to be, but I feel like that could be fun. I'll just keep this over to the side for a sec. And also restart my Illustrator so that I hopefully have less of these issues that I'm having right now. 1 second. Close that down. Clear my cache. Great. The session of Illustrator is still running. How exciting. Come on, Illustrator. Come back to me. Charlie says Noah looks super energetic today. Oh yeah, never been more excited than he is right this second. I like that his hair that he drew in that kind of looks like mine does now. Could be me. Could be my twin. Who's to say? All right, I think it's all open now. Great. All right, let's jump back in. Hopefully things are a little bit smoother now. Somewhat. I don't know. Okay, actually, yeah, it is better. It's like it went into some safe mode or something once I was having those issues a little bit earlier. All right, for the computer tower itself, how about we do like a little stripe of white across this thing here? Let's do like a 2-point stroke, 5-point stroke? That feels a little intense, but who knows, honestly. Perhaps it works. And sure, midway up is fine, but what if we do like a 3/4 of the way up or something? I guess I'm just gonna keep working and like just keep multiplying shit by 0.75 this whole time. Drag that on up there. Does that feel better? I think so. A little bit. Or does that look too similar to this thing now? There's something with the colors there or whatever that I can mess with later. All right. What else to do here? So it's got so we can have it just as a square. Then we've got some perspective to it, or the perspective and the like pop up with the base happens at the same time. And then where does the machine on the left come from in the meantime while that's happening? Because originally I was thinking it could just slide out behind it, but that might feel a little funny if it just kind of appears there. I don't know. Let me listen to the actual track again. 2, 3. And there's a 4th, but that can just be our like zooming in or sliding over or whatever. Is there a way that I can get the... What am I thinking here? Get this green in somewhere? Does it look insane if I just have that like stretched behind here? Probably. Actually, it's not too bad. It does look more fun on this. What if I just kind of void the blue there and have the tower be green? Ooh, that's too dark. That is too dark. Did I choose the black? Oh, I did. Too much of a difference in the shadows in terms of the tone. Maybe this stays that color? Okay, that feels a little better. Give me like a little like blinking indicator guy here. Let's do like that size, but then maybe we're at like 1/10 of that size? That's too small, right? Maybe like a 1/5. There we go. Little teeny tiny dot friend. And then I'll just say like that one is there. There's another one there. It looks like a face almost. That's super cool. Okay, it says for the style, the early iMac with rounded, colorful bit would look nice. Also, it will probably be an unarchived stream or get muted because of the music exclusive content. That's right. That's right. I could do some sort of like cut down or something if I can get the recording from it, but who knows? Which would probably be good anyway, since I have no script to work with at the moment. Let's do this one is white. This is the pink. And those just kind of, alright, pink doesn't show up super well. Just a little face hanging out, having a good time. Okay, it says, oh yeah, the early iMac with rounded, colorful bits would look kind of nice. That's way harder to faux 3D though. You get what I'm saying? That might be a little more difficult. What if I bend the back here? Aha! Okay, we're getting somewhere now. What if I do this? It's got to just be these left ones, I think. That's kind of fun. I don't mind it. Is there anything that we can have like drape over the edges or something? I like that it makes a little face here, but I'm not trying to make a character necessarily, and I feel like having 2 of the dots there is a little too distracting, because that thing's just gonna kind of sit there and blink, unless there's a way that I can have... Okay, that works. I got it. Samuel says it's a Canadian from South Park. Surprise! Didn't know that would be included, but there it is. Alright, so... just a square, originally. Then it pops up on the base, gets its perspective, and then there will be like... but how does the computer actually get over there? Maybe on that like second like we have some sort of like it pulls up from the ground and kind of like snaps into place instead. That could be fun. We'll just do that. That works. Okay, cool. I feel good about that generally. Then when it turns on again, it would look like this. That actually feels a little too dim now. Maybe I just go straight for the gusto and have it just be white. Sure, why not? Is there something I can do with shadows on this thing? Connor says now he's just a dazed little guy. We're giving him that name. Here we go. Dazed little guy. And we'll give him a fun little font there. There we go. Now he's forever enshrined in the storyboard anyway. Let me think of how else I'm imagining this scene. Is there anything else that I explicitly want to call out here? Whoops. Don't know how I open shadow play. I hope that doesn't crash anything. I'm still not quite happy with the look of this thing. Ooh. The sideways reflection is actually kind of interesting. What if I do diagonal? No. The order of this works nicely, I think. Okay. We'll replace that with that one then, I guess. And then this guy will just change to being white with the blue, maybe? Does this have a stroke on it? What? I'm like barely seeing that thing underneath it. Anyway, all right, that's fine. That scene is feeling all right. I mean, we're talking like minute, most minute details here on this thing. Let's. I might get too gradienty if I do something with this. I'm gonna do an extremely subtle gradient on the background here to make it look like there's some light coming up from one side or the other or something. Gradient this thing. All right, we'll do the dark bit over here and the light bit on this side. That might be a bit too noticeable. This is actually not that bad. I don't want to go full gradient though, because I'm really trying to stick to this sort of vibe here. I just got to figure out how to capture it right, and I knew this would be a struggle. It feels like I have here, but this doesn't feel like it's matching this super well yet. Maybe I am using more gradients than I thought, because there are, I mean, gradients all there, but the rest of this stuff is all pretty flat. Maybe it would feel better if I did something like this. Not really. Maybe it's something to do with having this be pink and then this is like the light or something. Then we can have it like barely get in there. Ooh, or diagonal. Okay, haha. Now we're getting somewhere. Is there a way I can really make these feel integrated? Like there's some sort of shadow on them or something? What if I do from here to here as the dark color? I need to stop doing this trim view shit. It's causing more problems than it's doing good right now. Where the hell? Where did my shape just go? Did I draw that in the background or something? I did. How did I do that? Alright, let me paste it on top of this. Some way to just make everything in the scene feel a little more integrated, you know? Too sharp. I think I just need to deal with the details being a little like just kind of left to the imagination. There's got to be some way to do this. It's just not feeling right. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. Ogrid says, how's the ringtone project going? Assuming you can disclose this info and not already working with Google on it. Yeah, I wish that I was working with Google on it, but no. And as far as how it's going, I just haven't had time to put another one together yet, really. That's pretty much it. What sort of techniques does our guy Hiroshi here use to just make this feel so fleshed out, you know? Don't get me wrong, I want it to feel kind of minimalist, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's hitting yet. Maybe I can have this come down to like there and then there. And then we get a little bit of the blue down at the bottom, but I feel like it's gotta be this color blue now. Shoot. I have dug myself a hole here. Oh, what? I wasn't even using the darkest blue? That's weird of me. Well, whoops. My mistake. Lucas says a slight noise or haze. I'll get that added in After Effects. I just feel like there's something else that I'm missing here. Maybe I can then have this be the only thing that's got the like brighter highlight on it. That feels a little more intentional now anyway, I guess. I don't really know what else to call it other than that. It's just like a more in-depth use of the color. How does that still look with the dark one? Let's change this guy to the pink. And then maybe these are the darkest blues. Just not happy with it yet. I am just not happy with it at the moment. Am I about to just go full flat on this thing? Nah, that doesn't look great. Shoot! See, and y'all wanted streams where I'm going through this design process for a while. It takes a hot minute to get through this, you know? Nick Notion says, hey Austin, will you please consider adding key input to the live streams? This would greatly help with learning workflow or shortcuts. Understandable. At some point, I will get to that. I will keep that in mind, but I can't make any promises right now. Shoot, man. What's the rule here? What rule am I getting to with this? Main, like... Okay, darkness is just like completely flat, is what's going on here. It's just like full shadow. All right, but this thing is supposed to sparkle, so I don't feel great about doing that. Does this feel better if I have this be pink now? Maybe it was that it was actually treated like a reflection that it was feeling weird. Something with the contrast is weird now. I don't know. I don't know, man. It worked better with these. Did it work better with those colors? I don't know. I can't tell anymore. Jeremy says, I think white is better. It looks empty otherwise. On the monitor? Or what? I don't know. I just don't know, y'all. This is a tricky style to figure out. Like, does that point out too much now? I don't know. I'm overthinking so many things here. Oh, as in like it just being white? I love that I'm even worried about this, considering it's going to end up having that on it anyway. It's going to look like that for all of like a second, maybe. I'm sitting here to freak the fuck out over it. I think it's because it's a pure black instead of a darker blue. We can try that. That's, you know what? That actually helped quite a bit, although that might give us problems later then when we have the like actual dark parts there, but maybe it won't. Is it a hyper concentration of detail that I'm struggling with here? Is that it? Like if I remove this and this? Nah. Why does it look so goofy, guys? I can see what I want in my head, and it's just not there. I can't point out what it is. Resvon says, make a smaller rectangle inside the monitor with radial gradient. For why? You talking about just doing like this sort of action? So it's a curved reflection instead? 'Cause I'm not opposed to that. I mean, what do we think? Does it look better with the radial or with the linear? I don't know. I kind of like how that turns out. It almost makes it look like there's just like an orb that's stuck inside this thing. Do I use radial and... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't necessarily have to like choose a perfect style right now or anything. But I guess that kind of works. Like a reflection all around, you say? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like an inner glow or something. Well, now I'm getting mixed signals. Jeremy says radial doesn't make sense because everything is squared in this shot, but then Nick says radial looks better, and so does Daniel. So I don't know who to believe here. I get what you're saying about having just like a glow on the inside of this thing, but I don't know that I'm super on board with that. Because then it's like too much of a hyper concentration of detail, I feel like. If it helps mimic the reflection of the next transition. I guess it won't really matter that much. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the linear because it will be better in the next shot. Let's see. What if I do a little teeny tiny rectangle in here that is the full black so that it feels like there's that like indent and you can see inside the monitor or something? I gotta mess with this gradient to make that work, but I think that might be the way to go. Or if I just do the dark blue. Or does that? Yeah. See, like we got some depth in there now. I feel like, right? Or did that not work? I feel like that worked, kind of. Man, I hate perspective so much. It's so annoying to figure this shit out. You tell me I can't redo now? What the hell? ZYIX says now it feels like an iPhone wallpaper. Alright, we're going with the indent. It's happening. I just need to fix how this looks if we're doing that. It's kind of looking more like an old TV now. And this also feels a little bit too wide. So I'm gonna make this like half that. And maybe these are like a little bit more off to the side. What up, Pedro? Glad to see you. Welcome to the struggle bus. Does it look better if I just remove the tower entirely? And then move this on over. Maybe it feels a little more legible at least. I don't know. Jeremy says, shouldn't there be dark blue on the computer stand instead of all the same blue since there is perspective? Dark blue on the... You're right. Yes, there should be. Let's get a little square in there now. Ooh, but now it's got to be that color because you can't put those two next to each other. I did not intend to do this isometric thing. That's not what I want to do here. It just does not look right. It needs to look more flat than this. There's too much detail going on here. Right? This cliff seems too flat. It feels weird. And I mean, I can go in and like add some perspective by doing something like this, but it needs to be more like geometric and stuff. I don't know. There's too much detail going on in this screen, I feel like. It's looking a little funny. What if we make this a really big screen? Like it fills up almost all of this space, alright? And yes, there goes the indent. It's all gone. It's all gone now. We're gonna have this come in by like 0.9 maybe. And then just get this to be the same width around there. Same margin. The huge flat white is taking all attention off. Then you know what? Here we go. We are revising what each of these things mean, what each of these colors are used for. That's gonna stay the dark blue because that's what we're using as our black for right now. And then this can be white. This comes down to that blue, or I guess it can be the bright blue. All right, the rest of the stuff can stay the same. This can change to a white as well. Okay, and then we'll do this as the light blue. Why is that all grouped together already? Silly me. This can be that color. This turns into that color. This changes to that. Does that feel better now? And then can we make this thing smaller again? That's feeling a bit better, I would say. I think so. Yeah. All right, we're getting somewhere with this. There we go, guys. All right. This feels a lot better, I think. Now add the circle gradient inside the screen. I don't know if it should have the gradient in there. I feel like it should just be the flat. I feel like that's more true to the vibe, right? I just had to test that out and see if it did anything. It does not. Then I gotta fix the gradient in the background if I'm doing that too. Geez, there's like so much stuff to consider with this. This can just be back to that flat color. Now it's nice and clean again. And I feel better about it. And as far as a gradient goes, we can just have this thing be like this. We'll do like a pink to the dark blue. That might just be too much. I think I'm just gonna go with the flat and just say that's how it is. Yeti says a mouse would be too much detail, right? Probably. I would think so, because then I gotta add like a... Then why wouldn't I have a keyboard, you know? And it just like opens up Pandora's box on us on that. Maybe I move this back a little bit so it's centered, but there's like the cliff edge there. And then is there something I can do to like... Are we just making it more interesting by the second? That feels better, I feel like, you know? And then maybe there's some weird shit that we can do with this. See, like I'm already back to overcomplicating it again. It can just be like this and that's it, you know? Jeremy says a huge mouse pushing the PC. That's funny. This feels better. I am okay here. We're getting somewhere, all right? And once we've made decisions on this and we have the other scene for reference, this will feel better. Nick says, can you show the completed scene for a sec? Are there any gradients there? Oh, there are. But also, keep in mind, once we're past this beginning section, we're in this like computer world. Like we're zooming into the monitor and there'll be like pixel scan lines and stuff. So we could afford to have actually like just limited gradients to that section and nothing else. That could work. Might match up a little better. Who's to say? Christian says, where is the router? There's no internet here. We're back in the 80s and we'll have our... We can have a modem. That could be fun. What are other... Is there anything else that would just like be a fun, easy thing to add to this? as a little detail or something. I don't know. Do I dare try and add a gradient here? You know, that doesn't feel too bad. That feels kind of nice. How do we feel? Yes gradient or no gradient? I kind of feel like I'm still on team no gradient here. What do we think, chat? Yes or no on scene 1 gradient? Yes or no? Let me know. How do we feel about it? Place your votes to gradient or not to gradient in this first scene. I am okay either way. I will say I'm kind of leaning towards no gradient, just keeping it super clean. But who's to say? Somebody says maybe make the bottom white. You know what? We gotta try it out just for the vote here, just to see what it's like. What are we thinking? What are we thinking, guys? Somebody also says this, but inverted instead. So I guess we'll try that real quick. Hold on. But then it's floating on nothing, you know? All right. It's a close race, but after 12 votes, it's looking like no gradient, y'all. No gradient on this first scene, and you know what? That means that for these other beginning shots, before we get into this computer zone, and also for the end shot, we will have no gradients. Easy peasy. Let's look back at this reference real quick. Anything that would be helpful here? Maybe we can introduce the dark color if we have like there's like a little shadow that comes through here on the computer. Nope, because then it needs to be that dark color. Although that does look kind of cool. Maybe it comes all the way up to the little thing there. That looks kind of fun. ZYIX says, what is the song name? It is Sparkle by Tatsuro Yamashita. Banger. Found it yesterday. It's too G-dang good. Maybe those move over a little bit so that we can have that like fully shadowed. The tree is casting shadows. What tree? Oh, yes. This tree. Got it. I was like, where's this tree? Furianaki says, what if the monitor has small hands that are holding a mouse up, recreating the Lion King scene? Is it too much? I don't think so. The client. That's funny. Yeah, he says, it's so hard to share thoughts with the delay. Hey, awesome, amazing animation dealing with the chat delay. I appreciate y'all. All right, I'm cool with how this feels. I like it. I'm feeling better about it now. It's time to move on. It's time to move on to the next scene. Remember, we will have, however, one gradient in this first scene. And actually, we'll have to now, because how else are we going to show... Wait a second. Ah, shit. I'm sorry, y'all. How am I going to show that this is turning on? Do I need to do like a... Bring this in, and it's got like its own borders or something? Like, how do we feel about that? And then maybe it's like this inside of there or something? Is this color? Great. Okay. That feels pretty cool looking. I like that. That's good. We're doing it. All right. There we go. That's the whole thing. And our dazed little guy is still hanging out here with his flatlined expression, you know? He's having a great time. Okay. I don't really think there's anything else I can add back here. So that's it. That's it. We're calling it. Now we get the close-up shot of this thing. So let's go ahead and get our pink background in here and do this all over again. And we'll have this thing. Muzamil says, here's a great album as well by Masayoshi Takanaka. It's All of Me. Okay. I just might switch to that at some point in the stream. All right, we got to have a little platform for this thing to sit on. We'll do divided by 3-ish. Take up a third of the screen right down here. All right, and now the nice part is, because this is technically still like straight on with the camera, we can do this. Also, I just got a light bar that I am sponsored by, so be looking out for that on my Instagram soon. Company offered it to me, like clip it on your monitor, whatever. I don't even have it, so I'm not going to mention the brand or whatever yet, but kind of fun, kind of a good time. Maybe a little bit smaller than this. No, actually, you know what? I kind of like it being like that big in the frame. Maybe I just want to give it a little bit more like headroom, so it's like this instead. And then when we get in here, maybe this expands, so it gets to be like way more of the actual screen that's filled in. And then I want to introduce another sparkle or something in here, because, you know, also the song is called Sparkle, so why not? Jeremy says, off to an interview. Have a good stream. Oh, good luck with your interview. Have a fun time. Oh, that's cool looking. Love that. Love that. Maybe we get like a really small one down at the bottom here. I hate when my Illustrator does this crap. It just randomly stops showing things. All right, it's kind of looking like a painting now. We got to fix that by having these guys back in there. This is not going to be that small. Let's do like this, so all of these bars are about even. Charlie says, Charlie W presents Revi Challenge video idea, making a motion piece in a new software. Ooh, Cavalry Fable, etc., etc. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and add that to our Discord ideas list right now. Video Revi Team Design Challenge in a software other than AE. All right, there it is. Your wish is my command. It's happening at some point. We'll get to it on the list. All right, there it is. What does the actual screen look like while we're having this happen? What would be on it, you know? Is there like code that we can run or something? Some sort of like boot up sequence that then lets us like zoom into the center? I don't know. Because originally my plan was going to be that you have this monitor, it's just sitting there, and it's not until here that it actually lights up. But I don't quite think we're going to be able to get away with doing that. Getty says, idea for another day, a loop of old monitors morphing to new ones. That could be fun. Jaxua says, how long have you been using After Effects for? I guess it's 2023 now, so like 4.5 years-ish, something like that. Dang, these are some cool looking frames, man. They're so swaggy. I don't know, like that's just how it feels. Okay, what needs to be on this screen? What would make sense? It's like super bright. It's lit up. How is it like? How are we getting into it to be able to like do a clean cut to this thing? Maybe it's just like we go in and there's this like exposure flash that kind of slowly reduces or something instead. Because it's just like so bright and keeps getting brighter and brighter. That could work nicely. It's so hard to make it brighter than white that's already there though, you know? There's a circle in the center of our next scene that's kind of like a sun. Everything's gonna kind of like spin out radially. Yeti says, sorry, what was the transition idea from the previous one to this one? Effectively, I'm just gonna have all of this, like, is gonna slide into frame, which, actually, sorry, I need to do it the other way for you guys. It's gonna, like, slide into frame this way, and then it'll, like, slightly slide back over at the very end of that sequence, and that'll, like, shift the perspective a little bit, and so it'll be a pretty, like, hard cut. It's not gonna be, like, a super smooth match cut or anything, but we'll have that, and then this shot will continue that momentum by having it all, like, slide in this way a little bit as well. Ogred says, the color palette looks amazing for this one. My kind of thing with this vintage aesthetic. All right, I'm going to get groceries. See you later. Peace. See ya. Go on, have some groceries. Enjoy. Let me just try some things with circles here real quick. If I have a circle that's like this size and it's this color. Probably even smaller than this, like that size. Okay. And then maybe we've got this like grid of circles that's appearing or something. I don't know. Oh wait, we could have, hold on. What is there a way to make a globe appear with this? Nah. That's getting too detailed and realistic for this thing. I want to stay a little bit more abstract up until we get into the actual shots that are inside the computer. We can have some like real world things in there like that. Like that wheel of the car that we're going to be putting in there that's on the road and like things you can identify like that, you know? But I don't necessarily want to have more than one thing like that in each scene. So since we've already got like, this is a computer, you know? Vibe going on. Ooh, it's a powering up thing. That's what I need. It's like a, oh, it's just a loading bar. That's all we need. We need a little loading bar. So maybe when we get in here, the gradient is actually way more subtle, and we realize that it's like, here's this like darker blue in the middle, but it's like this on either side. And so when you're out here, it seems like it's, you know, it's lit the whole screen up or whatever, but in here we can actually have this really like just satisfying trim pad sequence of this like loading bar. So let's do that. It's like this size. We'll do, sure, like an 8-point stroke sounds about right. Oh, whoops, don't mean to do that with that line. And then we can just have this little like loading bar that's sort of on there and appearing, and maybe there's like some other little animation that can happen with this. Is there like a, oh yeah, okay, I got this. So what if we've got like these 3 little dots that are up above it? Another one in the center, another one that goes off to the right. Each of them might end up being smaller than this. Actually, you know what? Nah, that's fine. I just want this to be like generally centered on the screen. And then we're just kind of like dink, 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 dink as they move along here. To just go through this sort of sequence. All right. So they can all stay like similar to this. That also looks like a face, but whatever. Nick Notion says retro loading bar. You read my mind before I even said it. Let's get each of these like half of their current size. Transform each. Hit them with the 50%. 50%. All right. Just delete these. I'll have to recenter things again, but that's okay. Maybe I can have this like underneath or something. This looks too much like a face in some ways, but that's all right. And then the fill on all of these will just be this same dark blue. So that way, it's like whichever one is actually in the loading sequence can become like this one, and then it like slides back through again or something. This is gonna be so cool, man. I don't know why I haven't animated stuff filling like this before. Yeti says, will the white line be needed? Don't you worry, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I mean, each of these scenes are like 5 seconds long, so we are no shortage of time to do little micro animations and stuff. You know, it's totally fine. All right, here we go. Ooh, the one with the, oh, you know, that makes sense. It's the one with the outline that would then fill from left to right. So maybe I need like a, ooh, interesting. I think you might be right. I think we might need just like a bar in the center that's got a stroke or something. You were thinking like this thing, where you've got, we could have this guy, sure, but we've also got that inside of something like this with that there, right? And so then as it's loading, you're getting it build up this way. And that might work better, honestly. Let me group these guys, move them over here for a second, and we'll just see how this feels. All right. And then reduce the stroke width to like 4. It could work. Could work. What if I do like just widen it a bit? It's more like that. I think this is the better way to go, actually. Something like this ish. That might be the better fit, actually. Except I feel like, all right, hold on. Let's just grab that there. Drop this back in here for a second, okay? Does it feel like too simple if we do this other way? Or does this make sense? Also, is this completely off-centered? It was. That's unfortunate. Is this more interesting as a concept? So, okay, we've got, you know what? Here we go. Let me unlink all this stuff. I just gotta see what this looks like compared, like side by side. All right, so then we've got this one, we delete those. Lock these puppies down, and then drop that back in there. Which one of those immediately feels more appealing? It's, shoot, now I feel like I looked at them too long. I think it's this one. I think this is the way to go. Something like that. We're gonna stick with that one. All right, let's move this stuff, delete that artboard, delete all these guys down here. And then this guy in here can be the 8 pixels or whatever. And I'll just make it so that's the width of the thing, so that when I actually need to make this, we can make sure that we just can easily go in and trim paths it and whatever. Cool. That sounds fun. And then maybe there's some way to get this like orb to pop out or something. I guess it would just be like, all right, what's the transition here? It zooms in. We could do an exposure flash. We would probably do that anyway. How do we make sure that we're at the end of this scene getting momentum of like things coming in the sun? I guess the whole loading bar can just like together in the middle. That's fine. Let's do that. All right. Sounds good. Let me go ahead and save. I don't think I've done that in a while. Cool. This is what it looks like outside of the computer. And now we can, with like one gradient, and that's it. And now we can live in our gradient world. That'll be good. I'm gonna just take a break for a second now that I went through all that shit. Just make sure I'm caught up on all this stuff. Just a second. Then, I mean, hopefully we get through this whole thing today, but we'll see. It's been an hour already, I think, and I'm only through a couple frames, but that's okay. Nick says, can you try a visual with the loading bar thicker, 11 pixels or so? Sure. It's at 8 right now, so if we go to 11, it's like there. I don't mind that. We'll keep it that way. Good suggestion. All right. Just a few more frames to get through, and then we'll be off to animation. That actually feels really great. Like we basically already have half of the boards done. And I feel like the others shouldn't be quite as difficult. Okay. So if the outside of the computer bits are like one singular object is allowed to have gradients on it, inside the computer, it seems like the rule that I've taken is like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the like 7 things. So there's like 2 things that aren't allowed to have gradients on them. And everything else should be gradients, I guess, for when we're inside the computer. All right. Now, the thing that we're trying to do here in terms of composition is going to be this guy. We've got like this little ground floor here that comes up, slides up, and then we've got these 2 buildings, one in the background, one in the foreground, with this like spinning top. The top is absolutely going to have to be gradients. I don't really have another way of doing that. I mean, there are other ways to do it, but that's how it looks. You know, I can see it, and it's got to be gradient. It's got to be a shiny top. I think that'll be fun. What up, Rodrigo? Glad to see you, dude. Welcome. It's been a hot minute. Let me see. Hold on. Sorry, review team be sending messages and stuff. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Okay, so we need to bring in another little pillar guy down here. I realize that's kind of a similar looking composition, but that's okay. Maybe it sits on white instead. That could be fun. Yeah, sure, why not? All right, as far as the houses and stuff go, though, there is... I have so many different like downloads of the different like paintings and stuff that this guy made, and awkward. Hey, there's the thumbnails. Enjoy. There they are. But there's a couple in particular of his, apparently none of which I've actually saved, that have buildings in them. So I'm gonna try and find that really quick. There's just a couple of them, but he's got this very distinct way of making these buildings, and I mean, we just gotta try it out. We just gotta make that happen. Thankfully, I have ample room over here, so I can do that. Yeti says 90 minutes and not animating it. Old Austin was faster. You're right. This Austin cares a little bit more about what this is actually going to look like at the end, though, than that Austin did about those. Not to out myself, but yeah, there it is. Let me grab this one, too. What up, Felix? Glad to see ya. Put this one over here, too. All right, and then lastly, grab this one as a reference. Very, very simple rectangular buildings. That is the vibe of what we've got going on here. All right, we are not straying away from the rectangles. Let me grab our color palette again. Bring that over here. All right. Bring that down just a tiny bit. Okay, time to make some buildings. We want like maybe 3 buildings, and that way it can kind of like be spinning through this town a little bit until it like flops over. And I guess the ground is just what will like morph into this road over here. I'll just have to like pull the anchor point up, I guess. That's fine. That's gonna be such a hard transition to do, by the way. This like spinning top falling over and turning into this wheel that just is already rotating on the ground. I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. Hopefully it just works though. Like God, this looks so pretty already. Like I'm spending good time on the design. I feel good about it. I haven't done that in a long time. All right, here we go. I want to make a little building, a square. Man says use squares, so I say okay. Here is 1 square off to the side. This will be our blue building, I guess. Okay. And then the backing is this guy. Be this color. Okay, there's a building for us. Now we need these little guys in front. I've introduced the dark color now, so I think that's okay. But you know what? Having not used dark on the other bits, I'm just curious to see what this looks like. That messes with the shadow a good bit, which isn't great, but it works like that. Is it stronger with or without the... I feel like it's better to have the dark bit in there. I just didn't use it outside of there. That's fine. All right. In that case, how do we want to make this building otherwise? This one doesn't even have a like side view to it. It does kind of have these like 2 front pillars that come out, which are kind of interesting. I like that. Let's just design the front of it for now, I guess. Does he have a particular ratio? It comes up to half of the building always, it seems like. All right, so we'll just make sure we've got that. And then it's got like, it's the like lines to actually make it a door or window that are kind of fun. Great Things says, are you going to animate today? I'll get into animation. It might take like another hour or something, but I'll get into it. Don't you worry. Let's make the width be like a 1/4. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And then we can have this same thing, but like on its side for our. Ooh, actually, that's too wide. So let's do. Are those the same width? Hold on. Okay, so it's like a duplicate of these 2 things. So let me actually do 0.75 width on this guy. And I'll just like move it over 1 slot from the center. Grab this thing, rotate it, and then probably do like times 0.75 on the width. And then just move it over by like half of this width. Does that work? I think the math almost works out on that to where it would fit nicely in the center, but not quite. Let's do... Is that... Actually, you know what? I think that looks right. What I want to get is like a little overhang here. So I'm going to grab this guy again and do like half of the height, then half of that. And then bring him in on the... this lovely thing here. Little highlight going on. And then for the window lines, I guess I'll do the pink. That could be fun. So that would just be, I mean, that's the same thing as this, but I just bring it in a little bit. Grab the pink, switch it out for that. What was the stroke width I used here? 4. We will see if that is too wide. Nope, that's all right. Woo! This is so fun feeling. I just gotta make sure it's centered with this. Apparently it is, it just doesn't quite look like it. Can I go down to like a 2-point stroke here? I don't know if that actually helps all that much. I think that's the right ratio. Bring it in just a little bit more. There we go. All right, now I need the same thing going on here. It's like that much off each side. And I just grab that. Maybe it's a little bit smaller. Sure, that looks about right. All right, what else do we need for this thing here? For the door, it seems like there's always some sort of extra thing up at the top here. So let's do like a 10th or something. Like that? Yeah. Okay, that works. And he does this like little gap thing here, but I'd rather just keep it like this, I guess. There's no other detail on the buildings except for that there's always this awning, except for that one. There's no other detail on this thing, so I don't know. Maybe I don't need it. But I just threw my Illustrator all over the place. Let's think about this for a second. If we're in this gradient space, I should probably do something with this. Bring that back. Part of me feels like this is too... Do I go for the green? This could be a good place to introduce it. I don't feel too bad about that being there. And then as far as the shadow goes, I can just take it. Where would the sun come from on this? I guess the other, it'd come from like over here or something. So let's do from here down to here. And we'll just mess with that in a second. Window and door can come in front of that. Oh, that's cool looking. That's nice. That feels parallel, is it though? I think so. Cool. We got a fun little thing going on there. This can also have a gradient on it since we are in this gradient zone. We'll go ahead and bring that like this. We'll do the darkest blue to the mid blue. We'll just get the whole gradient going all the way through this thing. Why is this not lined up? There we go. It's like halfway in between this that the actual 45-degree point is. Something like that, you know? That works. That is too intensive a gradient, my friends. What about something like this? Ryunaki says that long shadow always looks chef's kiss. I agree. I agree. It's so fun. It's hard to work on this background more than I thought it would be. Like it looks so much, these colors look so much better on that dark blue, you know? It just does. But do I want to keep the same background in that scene? Not particularly. But there aren't, I mean, that is like the hallmark of his pieces, except for like this guy. Which actually, I didn't realize there's another color in the color palette. Hold on. I had not recognized that there's this sneaky little like orangey thing down here. My mistake. That makes it way easier. If I do that, then up to that. That feels way better. And then if I, that's what I was missing. I wasn't putting the highlight at the, silly me. And now I can have these straight up and down. Although if the shadows are like that though, how would that make any sense for that to be like that? Should these be on the other side instead? I don't know that the shadow makes a whole lot of sense anymore. It feels like it kind of needs to be there, but I don't exactly know why. What if I do like a straight down action here? Tutu says Noah's looking good today. Did he lose weight? He just a tad, just a touch. You know, didn't want to go too crazy. I think I know what will help this. If I do a gradient from, now it won't actually make sense in terms of how the lighting should work, but that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is stylization and making cool shit. And if that's what this does, then the more the merrier. It's not though. So back to normal C, it is. That doesn't match the original style though. Shit. Lighting is so difficult, guys. Who would have guessed? Not me. It's gonna be a side element anyway. The top is the main thing we're looking at in this, so whatever, I guess. I don't know how I didn't notice that thing. Although I kind of like not having the yellow and it just being this guy, so does that help? No, it really does make a nice sunset. Shoot. Should the whole house be the one that casts the shadow? But like on what? What is it casting the shadow on? You know? If this is like a flat ground plane that we're like seeing from the side, I don't know what it can cast on unless there's like a, I mean, again, I can have this off to the side, but that will get a little weird. And then if I just drag this down a little bit. And then we're dealing with all sorts of fun perspective and things. Window shadow looked better angled to the left, you say? Well, good thing through the power of magic, I can go back and make it that way. What do you mean? Just join these 2 points. Unite these 2 points. Come on. How the hell did I thought I closed the Pathfinder window for a second. Okay, I'm getting it now. If I just have the light be like that instead, I think I should be good. But that would imply that everything is backlit. So it would actually be like this. Which makes 0 sense. What in the world? It's times like this where I wish I actually knew how to work traditional fine art things, you know? Resvon says maybe make the sun longer so it covers the door also, and so the shadow will be longer. So it covers the door and the shadow will be... Window shadow should start at the bottom right. Okay, so if we go like this... That just doesn't look good though. I mean, I know I'm not getting the angle exactly right, but... Where's the lighting coming from is the question of the day, Jonas. I truly do not know. The sun shader thing? This thing? The gradient back here? Make it so it covers the door. Oh, do you mean like put this in front of this thing or something? I don't know. Let's figure out how we want this to look. In my mind's eye, does it look like the houses are being lit from the front or the back, or what's going on here? What's going on? How is this stuff being lit? From the back. So let's keep it that way. All right. In that sense, we won't need this. If it's being backlit, we will have this guy. Furianaki says, does it really matter? Not really. Reverse the sky gradient and see how it feels. Not great. But that could also be because it should be like this, you know? Doesn't feel great. I like the directly up from the bottom vibe. Okay, it's all being backlit. So it just ignore these things, okay? We are going to fix this to where it is being backlit. Thank you, gradients, for existing. Here we go. Okay, so this thing will just be this color or something. Same sort of vibe on this side, except it just needs to be like the pink or whatever to light these things. So this stays that color, but has this thing coming like off to the side. This is why he doesn't use gradients with these things. I understand. It just makes it all wonky, you know? And I said to myself, yeah, I'll add buildings. Sure, that sounds fun. It's like, it just works, you know? Like this, you can tell it's being lit from the front, you know? And that's just because of shadow placement, these other things and whatever, but this is just not quite working out here. What if I flip this? The buildings are always lit from the front. That's what it is. You can always see the entire thing. But then why does the background gradient work so well? Because I guess it's just giving enough items for enough items in the scene for context to like make that make sense. And it's probably a lot easier with like real world looking things to make this work because it's, you know, we're all used to how things look outside. But at the same time, it like can't be super, like super gradient heavy because there are gradients on each of these things, but you don't really notice them that much. So here's what I'll do, okay? Because this is gonna take, it's gonna take a sec to figure that out. I'm just gonna move this up here for now, and we'll come back to it. I'll mess with the top in the meantime, because I think that will be easier to deal with, and then we can figure out what everything looks like from there. Here we go, okay? What do tops look like? What did I draw? It's like a shield shape that comes down to a point. Okay, I think I got it. So in simple shapes, let's do this. Hold on. Firefly. We will say a giant spinning top from slightly underneath. Giant perspective. And we'll see if it gives us something to work with here. Nah, not like that pokey of a... dramatic perspective. Let's try this. Not from slightly underneath, we'll just do from underneath. I just don't want it to do like a straight up shot because I can tell you what that looks like. That's just a mushroom, Adobe Firefly. What's she doing? What's going on there? What about this? This is getting kind of, it's just drawing mushrooms. It doesn't know what that looks like. Is there another name for these things? Spinning top. Like this shape is what I need, but like from underneath. So let me just, I wish I had one. It would be so much easier to just like take a photo, you know? And I could just look up what a model is for this in 3D or something, but something more like this. And then, okay, so it's got that like, the defining thing can be like the arc on the outside, and then there's just like a spire that comes out. So let's figure that out first. We've got our big arc. Okay. We'll have that be like a 35 point stroke or something. This has to turn into this, by the way. That's the thing that's going to be the most difficult. I don't know how I think I'm going to do that. And I'll do some clever masking to make this make sense. Let's move these over here. All right, this is like the outer edge and this is like the back part. And then I just need to do like a... let me use this. Not quite. Like, okay, like to there. And then back out. All right. Now I just need to like close that shape basically. So let me just make a couple points here. And then I can drag these guys up. Add another one here. Another one down here. And just like generally match those points up. So that there's a little less masking to do. All right. There's still gonna be this like ring in the back that's gonna be confusing to deal with, but I'll handle it. Okay, we would need to make sure that this is over top. But like the bottom part can't be there, so we need to mask that out. What up, Alexandra? Glad to see you. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's go back in here for a second and move this part over there. Okay, I'm gonna make this white for a sec, just so it's so much easier to see the like outside spinny bit. That's the technical term, by the way. Okay, and then we basically just need the same shape up at the top, but it's gonna be smaller, and I need to do some like perspective warping and such to it. Let's see, like there we go. We generally have a top going there. We do that. And we can have it be that color all the way in the back. Okay, see, like we've generally got the right shape going, and I think really all we need to have happen now is just like fill this in with that same color, you know? We just need the same ellipse, but to be behind here and this same color. And then to just like mask out this bottom bit that's here, you know? Actually, wait, you know what? If that's there, I think I can just do that. I need it to be in the same position, but now I can just mask it out that way. Maybe this thing comes in a little bit. The shape is being built before our very eyes. Bring that down just a little bit and bring it in front. There we go. We've got a top of some kind, and I just need to like move some of these points around again to make sure I'm covering everything up that I need to. Is this all parented, or not parented, grouped? It's not. Why can I not select the one with the stroke? There we go. Okay, let's group those before anything else. What up, Gabriel? Glad to see ya. Welcome, welcome. We're just out here designing frames and such. Alright. Now I basically just need to take all of this and make sure it all feels alright. Because, like, that bit right there is not going to fly. But I still need to make sure that it all looks decent. Like that. There we go. Alright, and then this guy can just get a little taller, maybe. Something like that. And then there's something we can do here with the, oh, you know what? We can actually do some perspective with our ground plane now. We can have a little action from here where, like, this whole side is all this dark color now. Or just this dark color. Maybe the ground is set to white? Or just the pink? Yes, guys. We're getting somewhere with it now. It's happening. I want a little more pink in here and less of the red. I'll just pull that up a tiny bit. Woo! That's looking nice. That's looking nice. And now it's just about actually making that stroke tapered in that way. And okay, now that I have the general shape, I can actually figure out how to make this look right. Like if we take this, like guys, this is gonna look so cool in just like a couple steps, okay? You ready for this? Here we go. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna say, which like that already looks cool, even if I don't have it be blue anymore, but we're not gonna do that. Here we go. You guys prepared for this? You're not. It's like this. We're gonna have white to the light blue. And then the darkest blue over here. And we're just gonna have that kind of like creep in there. Okay. It's a little intense there, so we're gonna probably have it be more like this way, I guess. I'll need to do some sort of like radial gradient messing with things to make it work properly, but you know what? Does that work? Not quite. We're getting there. Okay, look at that thing now. And then I don't have a great way to do the bottom gradient on this thing yet, but we'll get there because effectively right now it's all just kind of trickery. So let me do this. All right, I am going to just redo this little stroke here. Goes there, goes there, goes to like there. And it keeps going and going. And to there. I need it to be more like sharp than that. I might have to like freeform this a bit more than I'd like. Does that generally look pretty smooth? Not as smooth as I want. Screw it. We are normal pen tooling this guy. Oh, it's this curve here that gets really tough. Okay, that's a little bit bumpy, but we can smooth that out. Let me grab that real quick. Actually, that didn't quite work. Okay. Now can I smooth this out? All right, and now when I go in, when I'm in After Effects, I will add a, I'll add like a, what's it called? Why can't I remember what that's called right now? A tapered stroke to this. So that I can get that like nice seamless curve going into this thing. And then I'll do some like fun with like the wave warp thing, and we'll figure it out. It'll be nice. But what this should let me do now, and I will go ahead and grab this exact shape so that I don't mess things up. Also gonna grab this guy and just move those over there in case I mess something up here. We will hit that. There we go. Okay, and now I can do the same sort of gradient that this guy has, but there won't be any of this like super bright light down here. So we will start with this, then we'll get into the dark part there, and then hop into the very, very dark part of the gradient. Or go into the pink. I think the pink works actually pretty well. Like that looks pretty cool. And then I'll add some like little shines and stuff moving across it so it looks like it's rotating properly. Like if I grab each of these Well, actually, I guess I need them as a separate layer. If I go in here with same gradient in mind, I'll just add like a couple more points, and then just make like all of them white. All of them the white color. Then what I can do is choose which ones I want to have as like 0 opacity. Does that do 0? Yeah, 0. And then I can have this one be 0, and this one be 0, and this one be 0. And now if I go in and I say squish and squish on any of the points where it's hanging out, then I can get these nice shines from underneath here. Except I'll have them be a different color because they're like moving through and whatever. So let's do actually that like brighter blue color and try that. Bright blue. Actually, you know, that one's fine to be white. And then bright blue. Bright blue. Actually, that one should probably be the... It gets a little tough to actually figure that out. What I will likely end up doing is just having each of these as white and then setting it to like a... What if I do color dodge? Nah, that's too much. What if I do like a soft light or something? There's something in there that I can do to make that fit nicely. And just feel a little bit more interesting. Maybe it's like a more subtle shine or something, and then there's going to be some displacement, but you get what I'm saying. Some sort of shine going on. Keep it interesting, keep it fun. I'll save that for After Effects, I guess. And in the meantime, I'll just try and get this looking a little prettier. For this particular frame. I guess I can add some of the light bit in right at the front there. Maybe it gets like really dark before it gets to the for that bit. I guess that's a little too much. It's, you know, it'll get there. But for now, we should probably just keep moving on. Now we can add these buildings back in and see how we want to work with those. Now that we've actually got the context of like what the main object in the scene is going to be. So we can stop having this thing feel so silly. As far as how I am going to make this object turn into this, I guess this will have some sort of ring that appears on it, and then I'll do some path animation to like make the transition to where like this will become the top part and this is the bottom bit here. I don't know. I truly could not tell you how well that's going to work. It will probably look very jank the first couple tries, but we're gonna do it anyway. It'll be all right. Oh, that's also what feels weird about this. Sorry, I'm still on this. I'm still on the gradients on this thing. But I just want to have as little work to do in AE as possible, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. Maybe this is where it's the dark bit. Go to the like darker blue again at this point. Okay, that's getting somewhere, I think. And then what I can do with this is have this also have a gradient on it that goes from here out to here. except it won't have this guy on it. That's looking cool, man. I am becoming more excited about this. Another idea to really get like sell the glint on this thing is I can have like, I guess, a radial gradient going on, and it would just be like this bit over here is white. Like, oh, I guess it needs to be the opposite, doesn't it? It'd have to just be like a... Okay, I see. So let me fill that out with that, put that back in there. This goes to 0. And then it's like this. Does that work? It's gonna be easier for me to just do like an inner shadow or something on this, but I think that I know what I'm trying to do here. Does this just need to be like the blue or something? That like really light blue? Something there. There's something there to work with. It's so easy to get trapped in this stuff and just be like, but I gotta figure it out, you know? That is absolutely what I'm feeling at the moment, but all I need is some inner glow on that spot and I'll be okay. Alright. Let's keep moving, shall we? Our top is there, and here is our house that looks really silly now. This top is supposed to be gigantic, so I'm gonna simplify all this. All right, we're not gonna introduce the green unless it's with like some I don't even know what to call it, but some other thing. And now that feels too bright. We just wouldn't be able to see this much detail. That's what it is. I'll copy this over here just so we have it, but like, we wouldn't be able to see that. Why does, oh, yep, that would explain that. Okay. I was trying to figure out why this wasn't aligned to the bottom properly. My smart guides just stopped working, but I got it. Oh, it's like this is slightly lower for some reason. Man, Illustrator is so inconsistent in how it treats things, I swear. Alright, here we go. Delete those guys, and then suddenly, we've got a building back here. How nice. It doesn't need to be anything more than that, because the light is coming from this way now, so we can't see the detail. But what we can do is duplicate a little friend here. We'll do like half of half, and we can like see the side of the house by having that going on. Haha! We've cracked it. There's a little house there. We'll get like a slightly larger one that'll be like in front of the actual top, and it can like move past these or something. I don't know. It just needs some different features going on. Maybe this one is like, it's like a wide store. Actually, you know what? It wouldn't be that big of a difference in size because this is such like a massive display of perspective here that it would be like that, and then maybe you've got another one that's like this much wider and it's like a shorter store or whatever it is, and it's like that size and it's off in the distance or something, and then there's maybe like one taller building that is in front of everything, and off of that one you've got like See, but I feel like I shouldn't have a little shadow or anything on it. Because then I'm gonna have to like disrupt the shadow with that, and but I think this will work. Maybe this one's actually all the way in the back, and it's kind of like that. And because it's actually behind it and not exposed to the sun, we've got like the light blue. No, I kind of like the idea of just having all these little buildings here. And they're all just kind of chilling. And then I can have like some variations or something, and we're just kind of like going through them or something. Could be like some like ad for Seattle or something. I don't know. And then we'll bring back in some of these little plank guys. Let's make some different versions of these, shall we? They will be really small. Really, really small. But just to add a little bit of texture. And most of them will also be backlit. I mean, like this at best will probably be like that color. There you go. And then maybe we see like a slight increase to where we're getting into like the, maybe we get into the pinks by like here-ish. And this whole thing is just this color. But this can be like the lighter blue, I guess. Like a little cotton candy tree, you know? It's kind of fun. Anubab says, what's the music you're using on this? It is Sparkle by Tatsuro Yamashita. And it slaps. There's like some smaller trees that have a little less going on. Is this floating off the ground? Are all of these floating off the ground? They are. My mistake. Okay, why smart guides though? Like why can't they just work ever? Can you not tell I want to align it to this giant ground shape? Come on. This one's like in the back. It's like slightly tucked behind that building. There's another little tree friend over here. Another one of those. Like hanging out over here. It's kind of fun. It almost is like, they kind of look like flowers, but they're actually in like this big landscape or something. It's kind of fun. Ooh, wait, and then I can have some that are like really, really close to the camera by comparison, and they're like in front of the whole ground plane and everything, and they kind of just like wipe in front while we've got this thing in the back. I like that. And then another one of those like down here. That's cool. That really helps give it some perspective. Woo! Okay. All right. All right. It's working now. Great. That's another frame. This looks awesome so far. I love this. Now that we've sort of fixed this as well, I just want to see if we can get this to just being the white. I feel like I haven't used that like peach color anywhere else, and so it might be better to just keep it to more of this vibe. I think that's right. Yes, we'll stay with that going forward. Okay, we gotta make this wheel and stuff. Oh boy. Each of these frames is essentially like both a pain and a great time. It's a real oxymoron. Anubab says, where do you find music from? I'm trying to make a showreel, but I can't find any good music. Normally from Artlist for royalty-free stuff, but I just wanted to make this piece of art, and so I just got this from YouTube. It's just a normal track. And so, you know, sometimes I'll hear stuff on like TikTok or Instagram or whatever and note that down, but Artlist is my main go-to. Some people use Pixabay. I believe they have a bunch of free sounds and stuff, but Artlist has been the most consistent to me. All right. All right. I can feel the energy going away a little bit. We might have to just have this be a design stream, and then I'll animate either tomorrow or I'll get back at it later tonight or something. But I'm definitely gonna need a break in between these. All right, so all we need to know for this one is that this is this main perspective here. All right, so I'm gonna get shapes that fit that going, and then we can make that work. Let me actually get this on the background layer. And grab our color palette. See? We just made that mistake sitting there that whole time trying to figure out how to make that specific building look that way when all we had to do is just like, haha, giant tower. Giant tower. That was it. That was all we had to do. Does it make sense to have these be a different color? I guess. Why not? Sure, so we've got like that specific extra layer there. Nice. I like this. Okay. Then this guy here, that's just an ellipse. But I'm probably not gonna be able to, I'm gonna have to animate all this stuff flat so that I can actually have it rotating. So it's really just like, what do we want a tire to look like or a wheel to look like in this universe, and the rest of it is relatively easy. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in here. It's like the background's gonna be the light blue. Let me move this over. The light blue will actually start up here-ish. Okay. Got it. This little tiny section, plus like, I guess basically here will be where you can see the background and pretty much nowhere else. We need this shape on the bottom here. Let me move this back over. All right, we're gonna do here to here. Yeah, he says, I went off for a few minutes and now we have a full fake 3D city with a spin on it. You killed it. I believe me, it took a hot minute to get there, but I'm grateful that it got where it is. I'm happy with it. All right. This is going to be these colors. Okay, so we need, it's gonna be like this. Majority of it is going to be the gray color. Gray, and then we'll go, I guess, back to the dark blue. Sure, that sounds about right. Something like that. Sort of keep it nice and tidy. And then the ellipse is like that shape-ish. What's the angle like? Around that amount. That looks fine. All right. We'll just have that be a pink. And now I can basically get rid of this image. And which is good because this looks horrendous color-wise, so we're gonna fix that. Perhaps it is a white wheel. And we figure out what to do from there. Let's do from here to here. It's like that sort of vibe. All right. Then I need like the actual streams of like the road lines that are gonna be going this way. So I gotta figure out what that's supposed to look like. But I'll just have it marked out for now. Oh hey, and now we already have our buildings to use for the like palm tree with the city inside the top. Cool. I'll just have way more like small versions of that, I guess, in there. That'll be fine. Yeah, you know what? I'll probably just do like a quick break and then resume the stream from there. I can just put like a BRB up or something at that point. Okay, so the wheel itself, let me get a circle going so I can understand better what this should look like. Because I'm gonna have to animate all of it on just a circle so that I can have things rotate and whatever properly. And then I can do just like some scale and whatever on that in order to get the proper perspective in After Effects. Okay, what would make this feel proper? I'm thinking we actually lean into this again, except it would be... we get like the dark bit back here. All right. Sort of like do an inverted gradient on this, I guess. And then we'll have white at the very front. There's a teeny tiny little blip there. And then we'll have like just one of the blues. I don't know which one necessarily. With a majority of the like half back here being this dark bit. Does that make any sense? I guess we could actually make it like a proper tire. It's just gonna be about like, what does the middle look like then? I don't know. But we probably should do that. So that way I can have like multiple reflections going on. All right, let's do that. Here we go. So we're gonna bring this in. We're just gonna subtract that puppy there. Okay, there's our tire. Then I am going to duplicate that layer and do a radial gradient, just like here-ish, with none of, actually wait, you know what, let me delete that, set that to like 0%, and then bring that in, do just a little glow back there. Maybe a little bit of blue to make that make a little more sense. Okay. I don't even know why I'm so focused on that part. It doesn't even show up on the actual screen. What am I doing? Maybe this is just pink. And now we just need to figure out what fits in there, you know? Olgerd says you could do simple circles inside the tire, one bigger, one smaller with the gradient to make it look chrome. That's true. What if I do... Ooh, I should not have deleted that yet. So that I could get the actual shape back. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. I just need this to be that color. I don't really care. Okay. This out front. What the hell? Okay, group that thing. There we go. All right. Copy these things. Paste them. Shape build. That thing. There we go. All right. Be gone. Wait, where the hell did my shape go? shoot. I need this thing and this thing. Make that shape. There we go. All right, we got it now. Let me just delete that guy. Okay, so now we can figure out what should be inside of the tire. What color makes sense here? This one? Sure, why not? And then grab that. Bring this inside again. Have that be that color. Nope, it would need to be different. It would need to be like that and then that color. Or it's just like it's a really small indent or something. Like that, and then like that. Okay, we're getting somewhere now, I think. Bring this in, make it the white. And then, what did we do? We did like 8 point earlier. And then it's just about giving the proper context of like what's going on down here. We can even do like, where's the bottom of this thing at? We'll just say here-ish. Then go over here, bring that down. Come up in front of this thing, come on. Damn, how far in front is that? Jeez, okay. View, trim view, this thing. There we go. How does that feel? Not as good as if I just did this color, I feel like. All right, we're getting somewhere with this. Maybe this doesn't go quite as far down. It's more like around there. Nah, I like it like that. Okay. There's some other color variation or something I can do within here. I just don't know what I necessarily want it to be yet. Maybe it's like that. Nope, definitely not. What if it's like that? No. Oh, this is where I just do a gradient. Silly me. Maybe white. Am I even using the... Okay, I am. I didn't know if I was actually using the color I picked for the palette for a second there. That's cool looking, man. Then I just need the road lines and we'll be chilling. That's so cool looking, dude. Shoot. Because then I can just have... I mean, what I plan on doing... This thing will kind of just like move back and forth a little bit to make it look like it's moving forward, and we'll have some stuff like going by in the background or whatever, or I guess mainly the road lines. And the gradient back here will probably like slide by or something. What does that look like actually if I do like a... Yeah, I can just have it like cycle through this gradient over and over again. Except it would need to actually match the... There we go. Okay. Maybe there's another of the bright blue sitting down there. Is that too much? I think it looks better to just do that, and then I can just deal with the road lines. And for the road lines, it should be just as easy as doing like corner pin with like this big stripe of the lines going by, but for now I'll just do like this guy set to really wide, like I mean 35 point or something, and then I can do from there to here, copy that and actually move it up to the layer that I'm using. There we go. Make sure that it's behind this stuff. It would need to be like smaller at the end, so I'd have to do like a tapered stroke, but we can figure that out. And the dashes would need to like get wider, but like generally this will get the idea across. That is not the right angle for the line though. Yeah, I don't really have a great way of getting that shown in Illustrator right now, except for, like, I can go in and make each of those individual rectangles or something, but it's gonna be way easier to just do it in After Effects. And then I guess this should probably be parallel to that, right? Should it actually be, like, beside the... Nah, it should be going over him, I feel like. And then for color, maybe this is the darker red. I haven't really used that in many places. Doesn't look great. Maybe I just have it mesh with this. Not quite. Not quite. I don't know what color works best for this. I really don't know. I mean, white just works, but I was just curious if there would be anything else that would make sense, but it's whatever. Alright, well, for now, just to get the example across, why don't I just do this? Let me move this to where it's a straight line. I think that was almost perfect, actually. Okay, and then I will just bring that down, move it on over, change the dashes to way less than it is right now. Something like that. And then I will say path, outline, stroke. And then what do you know? You got this giant thing here. You go like this, and you say E for perspective. And you do this. And then suddenly, you got a really long stretch of lines. Except it's way too small, so you make it way larger. Aha! Except now it's too large. I see my mistake I've made here. I just didn't need that many dashes. Why does it keep selecting the entire thing? Like, what the hell? This is... I have the direct select tool right now. Oh, it's a compound path. Interesting. Like, there we go. Voila. If we want, you could have even more there or something, but it should probably be a little bit more spaced out, I would think. But regardless, it's there, and it works. And that's really all that matters. Ooh, yeah. That's what it'll look like, ladies and gents. Ooh, maybe there's like a curb or something up here. If I do like, just copy this exact thing and move it down here. Make sure the angle is about the same. And then does it work if I just do like that thing? Oh, it kind of screws with the shadow a little bit, actually. What if I do that color? That might not really work. That's okay. Maybe there's a way we move all this down a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't want to have the top like gap showing there. And as far as how I'm gonna make this top fall back towards the camera, yikes for me is all I'm gonna say on that. Not looking forward to figuring that fake 3D out. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Okay, and then to also like have the rotation working to where that makes sense. Like it needs to rotate this way as it's falling down so that it can continue. I don't know. That's a later me issue. That's all I'm gonna say about it. And then I just need to make sure I have the wheel correct for this. I mean, I guess I can just do trim paths on this guy with a, yeah. I'll just do trim paths on this thing. Then I don't have to worry about rotating it at all because I can just do it with offset and I don't need to make a separate other thing. That's fine. Okay. We use the rotation of the wheel to show a palm tree sprouting up from the bottom of the screen with its leaves. Within its leaves is a cityscape of buildings. We slowly zoom out. Okay. Let me grab... I need to figure out how to make this look more like a palm tree. This little thing here. Ooh, also, get real surreal with it. What if I do... what if I grab this whole thing? Grab this guy? And then actually have a bunch of little trees that are also going by over here. Or will that look goofy? I feel like that would be kind of fun. Like it's a gigantic car that's going by. And all it would need to be is just like one of these sort of swiping by every once in a while, you know? That could be cool. We'll do that. And it also kind of helps mask this nonsense, which I'm sure will be helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and move this over here so that we have it. That's gonna be quite the rig to have to set up, but that's okay. Let me make sure all the gradients look right on this. I feel like it should be more like that. Yeah, that works. Oh, and with like the pixel lines and stuff on this thing, man, this is gonna look great. I'm excited. Oh, sorry. The thing is set to top chat for some reason. I meant to do live chat. There we go. Okay, it says faster ways to just cut the shape and control F it while having the bottom shape selected. It pastes directly above the selected shape. Maybe I didn't do that. I feel like I used control F. I don't know. Rodrigo says, hi Austin, are you using multiple objects with different gradients to add other reflections? For shapes like this, yes. Otherwise, not usually. Also, where did my... Oh, I just duplicated it on accident. I was like, where did my little reflection down here go? Although now that it's there, I actually realized that this shape shouldn't be here. It's not necessary. It looks better like this. That's so cool looking, man. What are little things I can have like move by in the background over here? I really just need like a little reflection to continue going past back there. Just like something to lighten up the background or something. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. Nick says jump cuts, no prob. Yeah, there will certainly be a use of some jump cuts and stuff in this. In order to make it work. Okay. Will it be confusing though if I have the palm trees here? Does that mess my chances up of it making sense when I have another one come up here? Maybe I just make a different looking plant. I don't know. But the palm trees fit the vibe so well, you know? I mean, there's a reason he uses them in literally every single one of the paintings, you know? It makes sense. Do I want to have a little sparkle on the wheel here? Will have been a couple scenes since I used the sparkle. I think the sparkle is warranted. Yeah. We can use the sparkle. There we go. Aha! Little tiny sparkle time. Although not really that tiny. Okay, it says lamp pots in the background flying by and maybe a moon or sun slowly moving. Well, that's a good idea. Huh. Oh, lamp posts in the background flying by. I was like, I read lamp pots and just completely glossed over that, and I was like, yes, lamp pots, that makes sense. And I was thinking just like a potted plant or something. Anyway, lamp posts in the background flying by and maybe a moon or sun slowly moving. Sun could work. Although then that messes with our lighting and stuff. And I also do like having this here. I don't know. There's something we can do with this. Make it work. We will make it work. All right, and then, yeah, we just got to figure out how we want to make this palm tree, basically. I mean, I could take this same one that's right here. Maybe the background is back to this again. And we'll actually have like the whole thing backlit, so you can't even really necessarily like tell the colors of it or anything. Okay, that feels like it's too big. I feel like I gotta be able to see the edges. Okay, all right, we'll try this. We are going to bring this all the way up. All right, something like this. And then we just gotta figure out what we want to color this, basically. I feel like it makes sense to just do the dark colors since we've already introduced that, but I don't know if that's actually going to look good or not. It probably won't. We should just take this whole thing and just say, dark. You are dark now. Ooh, I see the problem we'll run into here. Whoops. Yeah, so that's not going to work. What I can do is take this and instead have it be white to black with like a pretty heavy emphasis on like no glow there. Same thing here. This one can be too dark, but with the pink. Actually, it should probably be something like this, where it's got like a little bit of the white on the outside, and then like that. That's what we'll do. Okay, I got it. These just need to be reversed. Reverse, reverse. Ooh, that's kind of cool looking. And then all of these will be like further than they would normally be from this point. I don't know by how much. What about like another 30 degrees? Sure. So that there's this like nice part in the top. Winter says cha-cha real smooth. What up, Danny? How you doing, man? I see the other problem I've laid for myself here. How am I gonna make a platform here that they can all sit on? You know what? Am I doing a disservice to the rest of these compositions and like the perspective and depth or whatever if I just have like the plant for what it is just sitting there? Or should it be like we're peering through these folds or something in order to be able to see it. I don't know. Jenny says working sad, sad, sad. That's unfortunate. Sorry, dude. Hopefully it's not review stuff that's making you sad, sad, sad. That would be unfortunate. All right. I can't quite as clearly see what this one is supposed to be, which maybe means it was a throwaway scene, but we won't confirm or we're not going to confirm that. What is that? What's that silliness? What would make this look interesting? I am very happy with how this one is looking. That is easily my... I mean, these two are both just so good. That's just like frame after frame of just gorgeous. Yeah, maybe there's... All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm pulling a switcheroo on the fly. Rather than having, because this, I mean, we've already used this tree like a bajillion times in this video. Why don't we just focus really hard in on like a city, you know? Like we've kind of got a city vibe over here, so maybe there's something else that we do, but it's this like rotational momentum of this car wheel, which also, how am I gonna get this to wipe over the screen? I'm realizing. This is supposed to like wipe past and we'll be able to like see what the next shot is, but also if it's just like a wheel going off into the distance, that's not gonna be great. All right, we've encountered our newest problem. I don't know what the transition is, and I actually don't know what the next scene is gonna be. So why don't we... Let me just think for a second, all right? Currently, beep-boop thinking is happening about what this could be, you know? I don't know. What can we use from the previous scene to make this work? There is a way to do a perspective shift with this to where we can just like slide the wheel off to the left and then bring this edge out to where it starts to, it's just like a flat plane, and then we can have buildings across all sides. And we're just like staring at this like sunset at the end. That still kind of just gets us to that like buildings on either side perspective view though, but maybe that's fine. I wouldn't want to see the car continuing down the road though, because I don't want to go through creating an entire car for this thing. That sounds horrible. It's much easier to just deal with the wheel. But I don't know. We've got that road there. It would kind of make sense to have this view where it just like, we're looking at it like this right now, but it just like opens up and you realize it's like a Hollywood Boulevard type situation. And then that does give us a central shot to be able to pull out and have the computer have exploded or something. That would be really mean to myself though to do that. Christian Dominguez says zoom into the wheel. I try to avoid like just like zooming in transitions, except for like this moment where it's gonna go into the computer and I can just do like a big flash or something, because it just gets kind of awkward like having to zoom in that far onto something to actually get the match cut to work well. Okay, hold on, wait. Actually, maybe there is something there. Maybe we're able to like have... God, and I hate zoom transitions, so maybe there's a way to make this work, but perhaps there's a way to actually have this center part of the wheel open up and it's like a portal into something. We can see the next scene coming through and we like zoom into that. That could work. I don't know. Let me just think of some other options and stuff here. It's just running the gamut of what the possibilities could be here. There isn't necessarily a narrative to this, really. I mean, there would be if we did like top spinning through the city and now it's actually like a car in the city and then we see the city at the end and it's like all set up fully and whatever, but that doesn't make any sense for what this is or how the computer relates to it or any of that sort of stuff, so I don't really know. I'm not really tied to that. You know, it would be hilarious now after looking through all of these if it just makes sense for this to look dark now. It doesn't. We still made the right call, but I don't know. I had to try it. Yeah, I'm not actually using the dark bit as much as I thought I would. I don't know. Rodrigo says, how about using the sparkle? There's potential there. Let me just abstract this idea. I'm not as worried about the transition, I guess, as I am about figuring out what the next scene should actually be, because I don't really like this city and the palm tree idea anymore. It's not my fave. And use it so, like the dot in the wheel well being like this guy being the color of the sky in the next scene or something. I see that. What more can this be? Boy, bae. This is what it looks like working on review projects too. I assume this position often. Just trying to think about this stuff. We'll almost have finished the storyboard in 3 hours. Oh boy. I told y'all it would probably take 7. I feel like I could animate all this in 4. So as long as I can get a good idea for this and hopefully have it boarded in the next like 20 minutes or whatever, then I'll feel good for this stream anyway. Winter says, expand the glare so it does a whiteout while the gradient enters. That's an option. Drap Tap says, it's very Pepsi-y colors. It was secretly an ad for Pepsi all along. I wish. That'd be fun. Except I don't really like their new branding, but, you know, to each their own, I guess. Let me just sit on this view for a second and just be like, okay, what does it feel like should happen next? We gotta have something. This wheel is sitting there speeding along this whole time, you know? Going off into the distance would make sense. But I just feel like that's such like a... I mean, it's an easy thing to think through, but it's also not a, like... It's not an easy thing to actually execute. And when I say easy thing to think through, it's more like a... That's what I first think of to do that, so it's probably not, like, necessarily the best option creatively, because it's just whatever I came up with first. So... Let's just keep noodling over this, shall we? And I apologize, it's just kind of impossible for me to actually, like, talk about these ideas bouncing around, so I need to just think about it for a second, then I'll recap what I'm thinking for everybody. We'll put together an animatic for this by the end of the stream. But I'll probably have to split it up into another animation one after this, so I'll like change the title and thumbnail and stuff. Olgerd says, maybe a match cut. The wheel starts moving down the road and you match it with the motion in the next scene. It doesn't have to go far down the road to do that. The perspective is not that dramatic. You'd have to scale it down that much. True. Maybe there is a... I haven't done a bouncing ball in any of this so far. That's a very classic me thing. To just, you know, haha, ball bounce around. And so if that wheel is like going down the road, it like hits this part in the center and can like bounce up and do something, but I don't know. I want this to feel a little bit more like smooth and elegant and interesting. Maybe there is a way to do... Maybe there's a way to do like a faux 3D spinning like column of a building or something. That could be cool. Might mess with the styling of some of this stuff a little bit, but I can see a way that it could work. I'm thinking like pillar, like think of a pencil, you know, if you look at it flat, like straight on, it's got like the bigger middle section and then two small side sections, and you just like swipe those through and it looks like it rotates or whatever. Could be something like that. I've done that for a couple projects recently and it didn't make it into any of the ones that I've done it for, unfortunately. So I know how to make that rig relatively easily. It's more of just like a, what would make sense for that to exist? Like what more is there to that scene other than just like a spinning pillar that exists? Because that's just kind of whatever. Maybe there's some sort of abstraction where I can bring these guys back. Oh, dude, top-down view of this whole thing totally looks like it's constructing a flower or something. That's kind of cool. I don't necessarily know how I tie that back in or bring it back, but... Winter says, I think of the glare thing because I think of when the sun eventually hits the angle on a shiny car that would blind the person in the car. That's a good point. It would just have to be like some very strategic placement of like a white solid for whenever it looks like it's about to start like getting to the point where it's completely blinded. There's something there. So that would be like spinning around this tower or something. But I really want it to have a wow moment, man. I feel like everything I'm coming up with so far is just like it would fit well for like the middle of the sandwich, but we're getting towards the end, so I want to get it like really. The sandwich metaphor doesn't work for what I'm saying now, but we're, you know, in a reel, you want to have really good stuff in the beginning and the end, and then like the very, very middle, you also want to have really good stuff, but like the in between is kind of like iffy a little bit. And I feel like I'm coming up with like slightly iffy stuff right now. I haven't had something that I've really like latched onto yet, and I'm like, yes, I can see that, and it looks like this. And, you know, that sort of thing. Nick Notion says, the wheel can turn into the sun for the next scene, following Olgerd's idea, and as it's moving from left to right, the buildings can cast shadows that will move from right to left. That's not a bad idea. Oh, I just thought of a good idea, but it would be horrible to animate though. All right. Here we go in terms of just like sketching this out. Hear me out. Okay, so take that idea where you've got like these buildings that are in front of the sun, and so they're casting shadows on the ground, whatever. Like that's good. But I feel like that just like side shot I see often. We might just end up doing that because this might be too difficult to execute once I draw through it. But imagine we've actually got this like this tower, okay? And we've got it like goes down, whatever. Maybe there's buildings like along the edge of this thing. So it forms this like ring of different sized buildings and whatever, and I don't know, like this doesn't look like a city right now as I'm drawing it, but imagine that like all these buildings are a city. and they all like rotate, and then the one in the middle, I guess there's just like a couple that are like the main buildings there. Okay, the whole thing is revolving around. All right. The whole thing is revolving around this way, and then you've got like this other plane down here or something that the buildings are like, this whole thing is like casting a shadow onto, because the sun's just like chilling off over here, and then you've got like these shadows that are like adapting based on where the sun is as this whole thing rotates. That would probably be horrible to animate, because the like adaptive shadows for that would just be, it would be a nightmare, you know? And like some of them would be moving faster than others or something. It also might look a little bit too similar in composition to this original shot. I do have a way that I think I might be able to fix that, where maybe instead of having this platform be like this, it's actually this this cone instead, or something that's like embedded in this main thing down here. I don't know, and then this like is the side part that's filled or something like that. I don't know. That could work. I guess that kind of gets a little too close to the top that we had earlier if I do the cone, and it's also a little too similar to this. But I don't know. It feels like there's something there. I like the shadow idea quite a lot. It's just like giving it something to like not just be like a side swipe shot, you know? For there to be something that feels a little bit more interesting. That's like, ooh, it's doing this to the scene. Drop Tap says wheel speeds off, other wheels join, wheels lose detail, motion paths start waving a bit, camera turns so circles appear flowing upwards. Looks like bubbles floating up. OMG, it was Pepsi all along. Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Oh, that's funny. That would be a good shot for something like that. Also, that's just like another thing that's rotating. If I do the current idea. Shit. I'm just trying to find something a little bit more interesting than the buildings going sideways, because we're already kind of going to have that, even though it's moving relatively slowly here. Like, that's already going to be, I mean, I guess there's no shadows coming from the buildings, but like, that's kind of what's already going on there. Ooh. That does look way cooler when you can actually see the scale of that shadow. So I'll probably just want to have this be like smaller buildings in front or something. Now I'm getting caught up on this other thing, but whatever. Anyway, I don't know, man. This is tough. And the end scene is easier because it's literally just this scene but zoomed out, and there's a big like crack in the whole structure, and there's like miscellaneous computer parts like embedded in the ground elsewhere, and it just like got blown up basically, and then you move off to the side again and realize that like, oh, we're back here, you know. It's just this scene that's a little tough. Somehow the song just never gets old though. It's kind of impressive. Da, 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 da. I just haven't had the idea yet, man. I thought I had it with this thing, but it's really too similar to these two things. But it would be like a zoetrope of sorts almost, and I don't know. It's just not quite what I'm looking for. Could also be that I've been sitting at my computer for this long that I'm having a much harder time coming up with this. So you know what? That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and close this stream here, and I will come back later, either later today or at the same time tomorrow, to animate the entire video, and we'll have this scene locked by then. And in the meantime, if you have any other ideas, please feel free to leave them in the actual comments of the VOD for this, if it's not taken down because of, you know, the copyrighted music and whatever. But I think that's the only way that I'm going to be able to get through this ideation process. So be sure to say hey to Noah on your way out, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for hanging. This video is going to be great. I'm excited.